Okay. Est-ce qu'on le fait en français? Should we do it in French then?
On peut le démarrer en français,
On
mais
peut
là, je
démarrer
pense
en
pas qu'il
français?
il y a pas beaucoup de personnes qui vont nous comprendre.
Il y a
Donc.
personne qui comprend.
No, no comprende.
No comprendo. Nice to have you, WMTx Lady, on this special episode of the Weekend Podcast. I think everybody knows who you are. So welcome to the podcast. For those who don't know who you are, we obviously put all the links in the description, but you are known as the not the person that will just jump on and just hop on Twitter and just write just a couple sentences, but someone who just has been part of the community in the background, like reflecting really on the overall ecosystem, on what it means, and then once in a while you pop in with an article that just blows everyone out. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. I had to upgrade my X account for the last article because
As it
I
was
was
so long.
limited in
Yeah.
characters. Yeah, and it was so long. Like Mr. T said, he said like I had to continue scrolling and scrolling. So yeah, I tend to like take my time, digest everything, and then try to produce something that I hope is useful. And during the month of June, I had to travel a lot for work. And normally I do it by plane, but I decided to do it by car. So I traveled all through Europe and I ironically encountered many Swiss cheese connectivity gaps. There was even a community call that I missed with Tristan Thompson because I was in my car, I had zero connectivity. So it was kind of ironic.
I hope you were scanning the whole time. Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
no,
Were you
yeah,
scanning?
I am an iPhone user. I know,
Oh,
I know,
oh, that's a
I know,
shame.
Eh, it's
I
a
know.
shame.
Next
I'm
time.
at the verge of almost buying just the Android just to start scanning because
Yeah.
For
honestly,
just, yeah.
I would have gotten a lot of points, I think, in the month of June. And so I'm the type of person that when I'm passionate about something, I tend to talk about it with everybody. And the project is really something that when you talk about people, they comprehend the magnitude of the issue, but explaining the project in itself to non-crypto native people, it's difficult. So I had a notebook in my car and I just started to write down thoughts and like it became longer and longer. And each night when I came at the hotel, I started to write. And then at the end, it became an extremely long article, but I hope not too long. My mom called it almost a book. She said it's not an article; it's almost a book. But yeah, it was really something that I wanted to pitch the idea, and that was some of the feedback that I enjoyed the most was when people said, "Okay, this is going to be really useful to explain to friends and family like what it's about," and they are people not necessarily. Um, yeah, I mean, that are necessarily familiar with crypto and what is being done. So yeah, I was really, really happy with the return of people. I woke up and I saw it just like exploded. So I was really,
Yeah,
really happy.
look, you're close to 50K views on this
Yeah.
article, so it shows really. I mean, in the age of short attention span of AI generated content, when you have someone like you that just takes the time every night to sit down and write down and really, going through that thought process, it really shows at the end. So, uh, uh, massive kudos for doing this. So, for anyone who actually hasn't read the article, the link will be there in the description. You start from what it is that crypto is, how you actually yourself came into crypto, what DePIN is, the decentralization, what makes World Mobile Chain very different. You talk about the Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. So and then go on to scaling, and at the end you kept the juicy bit. I guess that a lot of people were actually interested in, which is valuation. And on that point, I would like to remind our audience that everything we're saying in this podcast is not financial advice, obviously.
My first question was sort of around What really inspired you to write this article, and on a personal level, what did you want to achieve by putting it out there, and how do you think it's gone in terms of achieving that?
I think that maybe on a subconscious level, I've always been attracted to decentralized models. And I was thinking a lot in the month of June about a story that my grandmother used to tell when she was, about 10, 15. We're talking about the 1920s, 1930s, between two world wars. She explained that her father used to work at a factory. And all of a sudden, there was a buzz about something being wrong at the local bank. So he quit his job and he went to the bank, and it was just like a queue of people. And to put it in crypto terms, the bank rocked them, rocked everybody. So there was always a little bit of hesitance and maybe a little bit of trauma around centralized systems. And if we take a look at it at the banking, the financial sectors, or even like big tech right now, we kind of give away our freedom. Okay, it's extremely convenient because social media, it's centralized and we get dopamine hits, but at the same time, we do not own our data. And I think when you come to that, it's kind of like a philosophy that you tend to defend. And I really wanted to capture that also in the intro, like why, from a human perspective, it's really important that we take back control.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm pretty sick of relatively few people having a power over the majority, and that needs to change in so many ways. And yeah, that's certainly one of the main reasons why I was attracted to the idea of crypto to start with. And like yourself, I got in, started investing and being a bit more serious about it around the same time, about 2016, 2017. But I had been, a little bit disappointed in that we haven't really seen a lot of, actually fully decentralized applications coming online and people using it, apart from the DeFi stuff, which is, to me, is just mostly gambling between people that are into crypto to make money against each other. It's a zero-sum game, And so I'm like, I can see the potential. I mean, the blockchain technology brings this trust engine, opens up the doors to so many things. And it's like, we just haven't had any applications, or at least not many that I've paid much attention to that are actually doing that. And so when World Mobile came along, that was, for me, that was like, absolutely, this is one of those things, and it's sort of a really fundamental base level thing that of infrastructure that would be great to decentralize and really important in terms of our data privacy and everything else. So yeah, I can't agree more with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, look, people know me as Hope, not Hype, and WMTx Lady. You've actually mentioned, I think, Hype 18 times in your article.
Yeah,
But on the negative,
well, it's crypto, Dave. It's crypto. There's hype everywhere.
No, but you highlighted very well that a lot of it is all hypey, and but World Mobile is actually the definition of really, to me at least, the hope that we finally, as you articulated, Steve, we finally bring the benefits of blockchain down to the table in the real world, and apply it to an industry that's not just a small industry or kind of a side gig. This is and we've talked about it, I think, Steve, before, about the pyramid. It's at the base of that pyramid where being connected is now a human right, and it should be.
I still think oxygen should be at the base of the pyramid. I think that's pretty important. But sure, Wi-Fi next.
I'll give you that
connection on top of that one. Yeah.
We won't go far without oxygen. That's true.
You got 3 minutes.
Water, yeah.
So Wi-Fi plus O2,
yeah,
and then we good. Yeah, and I really appreciated the fact that you specifically mentioned that a lot throughout your article, because that I think that creates the fundamental of what this project is about. Besides, the fact that we're actually building something that's incredibly innovative. That's another topic I think we haven't touched much, is all around the innovation that's going on. Innovation is throughout the whole project, because we're also breaking barriers when it comes to building a chain that can cope with the scale that we're talking about.
Yeah. And Steve mentioned that currently in crypto, it's like a zero sum game, the return on investment. And that was the other angle that I tried to convey is that currently we're just at a turning point. In economic models, it's like, where is the yield in which can I invest to obtain passive income? 50s and the 60s, you had real estate, then you had blue chip stocks, then you had 401ks, you had big tech coming up, then you had early adopters of crypto. But right now, with the advent of AI also coming to automate large amount of jobs, and you have wages that stagnate and prices that rise, where is the next passive income coming from? And I truly believe that DePIN is AWS Web3 moment. I remember in 2004 when Amazon launched AWS, everybody was going like, what is Amazon doing? What are they doing in the cloud business? And today it makes up 70% of their revenue. And so for me, it's also a philosophical standpoint. If AI is going to run the world, let's make sure that we as citizens own the infrastructure it's going to be built on. And that for me is just super important to obtain. And a couple of days ago, I was just checking, like sometimes I have like these little thoughts in my head, but if you see what AI needs to run, you need compute, you need storage, you need connectivity, and you need real-time data based on sensors. Map that with what World Mobile Chain is doing, you just like have a complete check in the box. And that is for me the most exciting evolution that we're having right now.
The only missing part is power.
Yeah, electricity.
That's electricity.
A lot of it. Yeah.
So,
Who knows?
but
We
I
might
mean,
get into the power business.
yeah, well, who knows
Who
where
knows?
at the level where they're often thinking
I
at,
know.
but you're right. You need
Yes.
electricity, but in terms of really infrastructure based,
Yeah. But I think you're
AI
right. I
needs,
mean, already AI, like all the, the learning that they're pushing with these systems, they've gobbled up, the vast majority of information that's out there. And
yeah,
so the next step is all the live information, is the more data coming in and the constant stream. And I believe World Mobile already has a partnership around that. I can't remember if that
It's
partnership
EW.
is public yet. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
So yeah, that's for sensors and Internet of Things
exactly.
and that sort of
All
stuff as
kinds
well.
of
So yeah,
value.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and they're definitely looking at doing some AI bits and pieces. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes for sure.
exactly.
Oh, look, I thought I'll bring up your article here. And indeed, look at that scrolling.
Yeah.
And that's because I zoomed in. But I wanted to touch on something that I was very interested in. It is this equation here, the Metcalfe law. Can you, articulate in simple terms what it is and what made you choose this, apart from the fact that CZ mentioned it?
Yeah, maybe just David. First of all, thank you for also the image, so that people know. I mean, we have one graphic expert in the
Oh,
community, and
it's
it's David. So many
it's a
many thanks
pleasure.
for. Yeah, I thought I'd mention it. Well, I had wrote on an article, I mean, two about token valuations, but one was more, I mean, Web 2 based, where you look at the profit of a company, revenue, EBITDA, but it just doesn't match with the token valuation because like Miki also stated, the token is at the heart, at the core of everything that World Mobile is building, not only World Mobile, but then you have also World Mobile Chain. So I started to look at Metcalfe's law, and then yeah, indeed, I saw CZ Binance's tweet where he stated that you can value a decentralized network based on the usage growth. So what does that mean? If you and I have a walkie-talkie, we can have two conversations, but if 5 people have a walkie-talkies, the connections multiply, the possible connections. So that also means that you can use it to not only value a decentralized network, but you also have taken into account the staking. I think that approximately currently we're at about 50% staking.
50%, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that it will go up when I hear with
Yes,
the
yeah.
phone plans, and I'll only simulate it with 50% staking, and then also the buybacks. So you see that there's like those elements that have been taken into account, the buybacks and the gas fees also, and the
Hmm.
staking. But what is important is that World Mobile has its own chain. So what do I mean by that? It's not only about transactions related to network operations. They have a lot of more things going on. We have partners also building on the chain, which will only multiply the usage of the gas fees. And then the A is the affinity constant. So what does that mean? You can compare it a little bit with, okay, how many people are engaging? Are we really in a bull market? I understand that the meaning is that at a certain point, bull or bear, we won't even care. But there's always a little bit of hype that plays into it, unfortunately. But depending on that constant, we also see where it's going. It's based on Metcalfe's law, just with buybacks and staking integrated, but maybe not fully taking account the possible growth of scale of the usage of World Mobile Chain, which was quite difficult to simulate also. But that's a positive, I would say.
Yeah, and just using this model, you come up with crazy
Yeah,
predictions.
I know.
We
I know.
we go up to the 4 digits.
Can I
Yeah.
just butt in here and
Yeah.
say, what's your background? Are we talking about a genius mathematician here, or
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
wondering what qualifies you. I think it's a reasonable
Yeah,
question to ask to sort of
yeah,
say,
no,
well,
no
this is a
problem.
reasonable formula to,
Yeah. I mean, it takes into account a formula that was, of course, not invented by me. It's
Yep,
Metcalfe's
yep.
law. Let's say that, of course. But then it's just taking into account your staking supply. So that means that your circulating supply goes in half, and also the buyback pressure and the affinity constant. Of course, it's a valuation, but I think that maybe that's why below it, I also compared it with other valuations of other crypto projects and also their adoption usage. But I think that at a certain point, it's just that the token is going to be at the heart. And the more you scale, I mean, we're talking here about 100 million users. That is just, I mean, crazy already. There are not that many companies in the world that have 100 million users. And then afterwards, in the latest, it's 1 billion. But of course, it is a simulation. My background is purely in tech, but I'm in sales, so I have to always position and value also certain product positioning. But it's based on Metcalfe's law, just taking into account that stake and supply is reduced and the buyback pressure.
If you really think about it, the any sort of value that comes into a currency or a token, where does it come from? It comes from interactions between humans. It comes from trade transactions, right? Whether that's selling items or selling your labor to earn money. You know, there's always needs to be an exchange of goods or an exchange of value, and yeah, the more people you have in that system interacting with it and performing those transactions, and with the limited supply as that grows, yeah. So I think you're right. I think the Metcalfe's law is pretty reasonable one to use, because that's sort of what it looks like, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah. And I have to say that WMTx is kind of a bet on an investment on usage, not on possible hype. So the more adoption you create, indeed, David and Steve, the more valuable the token becomes. And of course, World Mobile Chain is going to be calibrated, so there are probably going to be fees adjustments. But if it really forms the foundation of the infrastructure of daily commodities that we use, at a certain point, valuation is very difficult to pinpoint. And yeah, the numbers, I didn't mean to extrapolate, but those are crazy numbers. But I
Hey,
mean,
the
the
numbers
project,
look good to me. The numbers look
yeah.
good to me.
I mean,
Yeah.
having a project with 1 billion users would be even more astounding to me than those numbers. So I hope that we will be able
Yeah,
to
I
significantly
did some
differentiate.
modeling of my own, and
Yeah. And what would
when
you
I,
were thinking around?
when I projected it out into like 10 years, I was like, oh my god, I can't show anybody this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does go quite large because of that feedback loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people clearly underestimate the wave
Yeah.
that is about to come. Like I'm showing here on screen the fact that once we integrate into token terminal, we will forever be not only in the top 5, but very quickly top 1 project. And by a mile. We're talking
Oh yeah.
about already 2.1 million. So, the top chain here is BNB with 3.7 million active daily users. We bring Ditto in, we bring a couple more projects, South Korea, you name it, and we could be up to 100 millions, for all
Yeah,
we know
so
by the
number
end of the
one with a
year, but
large gap,
with a large
Yeah.
gap. And I think, yeah, the crypto space isn't ready for this.
Mhm.
And there's a quote I picked up from your article, which is the hardest part isn't recognizing success once it's obvious. It's having the conviction to see the potential before the world catches on. And
Mhm.
that applies to this. You
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
it right there.
Yeah. And I think that also the opportunity in terms of billions to be able to connect the 2.6 billion people that are currently underconnected and underserved, it's unfathomable. I mean, if you're able to deliver a project that responds to that issue, to that problem, valuation numbers indeed become crazy, and maybe even crazier, Steve, because I do not know if your projections came even higher. But I mean, this is the type of scale of the problem that World Mobile is addressing it. And I think that Mark Cuban said it once: if you want to be a billionaire, address a pressing problem. And I mean, here we're addressing one of the most pressing problems that there is, because it's not only access to connectivity, but it's access to economy, it's access to schooling. And so the impact that the project is creating goes that much further. So that's really,
Yeah, it
yeah,
goes way beyond the
yeah,
project itself. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
That's my my motivation, and I often talk about this. I say, you take a group of 100 people, regardless where they're from. Statistically speaking, you'll have whatever 5 or 6 of them that will have a very high IQ. Now, if those 100 people don't have access to the internet, it's such a waste of potential,
Waste
of
of human
talent,
capital, human
of human
potential.
capital. And
Yeah.
so I summarize Vulnerable as unleashing the human capital, and think about the economic growth that you will be generating from
Yeah.
just unleashing this energy, this intelligence. That is what motivates me more so than anything. The fact that we are building something that is going to be transformative. Regardless, it will be transformative.
Yeah. And for me, I know that a lot of focus was maybe on the simulation of the token valuation. I hope that that's not the main one, but I really wanted to write this type of article whilst we're still under token generation price, under that 20 cents. I did not want to write something like this when we are already at a couple of bucks, and then maybe everybody's gonna jump on and like promise even more crazier numbers maybe. For me, it's really important to write it at this day, because David, you said it well. I have a very strong conviction in what is being built, and I really wanted to put this type of stuff out in these type of days. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, I've said this actually before to some of the World Mobile people a couple of years back, but to me, this is the sort of project that crypto needs. And if this is the sort of project that crypto, that the crypto industry, if you like, can't support and can't get, happening, then it's pretty much a bust for me.
Yeah.
This sort of thing needs to happen. Otherwise, what are we doing this crypto stuff for?
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. I mean, when we are going to connect someone that has never been connected before, I gave the example of
Yep.
Zanzibar, and Mickey explained it. When they returned after COVID, connectivity transformed the whole village. And so it created more jobs, more employment, and that economic impact, indeed, we haven't started to evaluate. And that's why it's quite difficult to put a valuation on this, because crypto, until now, it hasn't touched the real world like World Mobile is doing. We have already 2 million people on chain that do not know that they're using crypto and blockchain, and they have each indeed an economic value attached to it. And I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember a year ago there was sort of a website where you could follow up on the different streams of development, and one was also Coinbase wallet integration. So I have to imagine that people that before didn't have connectivity, now they have connectivity. Maybe indeed at a certain point those people will also be onboarded onto crypto. I saw Sham this morning who said, I'm living in a country with an extreme high inflation rate. Like somewhere crypto is a form of beacon of stability also for me, is a way to like project myself in the future. So there's a lot of secondary effects that indeed we haven't even started to take into
Yeah.
account, and that
And a
is
lot of
just
services, that people are going to
exact.
be offered through the World Mobile Chain,
Yeah,
directly through the, to the end user through their connection with World Mobile for
yeah,
things like, hey, now I've got connection and my business is growing and now I'd like to have some insurance, and so, well, here's the insurance system that's built on World Mobile, right? All sorts of financial products and education, as we've mentioned, all sorts of platforms that can be built and an economy that can grow on the World Mobile Chain.
mhm.
It's massive potential.
We've seen, the impact of connectivity on GDP. It's huge.
Yeah, it's
It's
huge.
close to being double digit almost.
Yeah.
So I think we totally underestimating the impact of what World Mobile will have on the world. And
Yeah, take all your numbers and double them, and then add
no,
another 50%.
I'm not even talking about token valuation at this point. It's
Yeah.
the physical, the reality. When you wake up in the morning, all of a sudden, as you said, in Zanzibar, they're starting exporting crab to China because all of a sudden they could do this. They could have buyers and sellers communicate and all this. So the impact will be tremendous.
Yeah, so I mean, who's going to build the insurance app? Who's going to build the Amazon of the World Mobile Chain? The trading platform for goods and services. All of these things are possible.
But I think that we can agree on one thing, and it's having the conviction right now to invest in WMTx and WMTX. But once again, it's not financial advice, but having that conviction right now, you just have to look at the fundamentals. We're still in a proof of concept phase. And we'll see in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now what is being built. And I'm a bit like yourself, David. And I mean, it's maybe a common thing around the world mobile community, but we have a lot of people that are looking forward to the impact that is being built. Okay, token valuation, it's a part of it, but I'm not here because I want to have a moon token times 100 or times 500. I'm not here because I want to gamble in a casino. I want to be part of something that is being built and is the infrastructure of tomorrow. And like I said, in a world that is rapidly changing, having also that sort of yield that is really depending on the usage, and as the usage grows, your yield grows, that is for me also really important, because we do not know what tomorrow is going to bring, if there's going to be super intelligence that's really going to automate a lot of jobs. You just have to be prepared and think of different elements also to invest in.
Is there anything that's not in your article that you really wanted to convey to our audience?
The thing that got me most excited past weekend was Mickey's remark about aerostats. And I think you published a snippet of it, David.
Mhm.
I just went like, wow, okay, that's even accelerating it more, because I had some people contacting me. He was from Canada and wanted to know, he went like, I'm in a rural area. I do not have enough connectivity. And I mean, World Mobile is the leader in aerostat deployment. Satellites are extremely good and from a technical point of view, but it's also extremely expensive. So once again, I feel like the team is already like a couple steps in front of everything else. And I'm just really, really looking forward to that evolution.
Yeah, I'm also super excited. As a technologist, I love all this stuff, and we totally underestimate. I think the vision that Mickey and the team have for World Mobile. I think that, as you say, they are already seeing what's in 5 years' time, and they're already taking the actions today to tackle that challenge. Having a wing at 20 kilometers obviously is offers better latency than a satellite at 530 kilometers. So cost is taken in consideration, and it blew me away the fact that we actually will at some stage offer a direct to sell solution. The scope is beyond what I would have ever imagined.
I'm really excited by the fact that we're getting, I think, very close now to sort of what I would call World Mobile version 1, with air nodes, earth nodes, hex guardians, mobile plans, broadband plans launching in multiple countries. I think we're going to see most of the sort of version 1 out before the end of the year, and that's going to be really exciting to see and see the response from the world and the communities.
Look, thank you so very much, WMTx Lady, for your time. You're such a beautiful and fantastic and resourceful asset to the mission, and that's what makes the mission beautiful. Because again, like all the talents that you have, you're able to actually share them with us, share them with all of us who are connected, and being able to connect more people and to share more of our energy and talent, I think is a beautiful thing. So. Thank you very much for taking the time, and
thanks.
I look forward
to meet you in person, and thanks for your efforts.
Great meeting you guys. Thanks also
Likewise.
for your work, and a great time talking to you.
It's a pleasure. We'll catch you on the flip side, as we say.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. I can do that one. Yeah.
Oh,
you can do that one.
Reclaim.